When a struggling single-mom mechanic fixed a billionaire's jet with nothing but ingenuity and grit, he didn't just offer her a job, he offered her a future beyond her wildest dreams. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Jamie Reeves wiped the sweat from her brow as she finished her shift at Hillside Regional Airport. At 32, she was the most skilled aircraft mechanic on staff, though her paycheck hardly reflected it. The small airport in rural Pennsylvania wasn't exactly a hub for opportunity, but it was all she had after her divorce left her with mounting debt and a small apartment she could barely afford. Her phone buzzed just as she was clocking out. It was her boss, Frank. "Jamie, we've got an emergency on the tarmac. Some billionaire's jet just made an emergency landing. Engine trouble. Their mechanic is in New York, and they need someone now." She sighed, thinking about her daughter, Lily, waiting at the neighbor's house. Another late night. "Tell them I'll be right there." As Jamie approached the sleek Gulfstream G650, she could feel eyes watching her from the windows. The jet's pristine white exterior gleamed under the setting sun, making her feel even more conscious of her oil-stained coveralls and messy ponytail. When the cabin door opened, Jamie wasn't prepared for who stepped out. Everyone in America recognized Ethan Blackwood, tech billionaire and founder of Future Tech Industries. His company had revolutionized renewable energy technology, and at 40, he was one of the richest men in the world. "You're the mechanic?" he asked, his deep voice betraying surprise as he looked her up and down. "I am," Jamie replied firmly, refusing to be intimidated. "What seems to be the problem?" Ethan explained they'd heard unusual sounds from the right, engine mid-flight, and decided to make an emergency landing. His team of executives looked impatient behind him, all designer suits and annoyed expressions. "We have an important meeting in San Francisco tomorrow morning. Millions are at stake," one of them reminded Ethan loudly enough for Jamie to hear. "I'll take a look," she said, grabbing her toolbox from the ground. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Jamie worked meticulously on the engine. What she found was both concerning and fixable. A loose fuel line fitting that could have caused a catastrophic failure if they'd continued flying. But the repair was complex, requiring both skill and improvisation with the limited parts available at the small airport. Hours passed. The executives retreated to the terminal lounge, but Jamie noticed Ethan stayed, watching her work with genuine curiosity. "Most mechanics would have told us to wait for parts to be flown in," he observed, handing her a tool before she even asked for it. "Most mechanics haven't had to make do with less their entire career," she replied, not looking up from her work. "Sometimes innovation comes from necessity, not a billion-dollar research lab." Something in her tone made him pause. "You don't think much of people like me, do you?" Jamie finally stopped and looked at him. "I don't know you, but I do know what it's like to choose between paying for my daughter's school supplies or making rent on time while companies like yours report record profits." To her surprise, Ethan didn't become defensive. Instead, he sat down on a nearby equipment crate and told her about growing up poor in rural West Virginia, about his mother working 3 jobs, about creating his first computer program on a donated laptop with a cracked screen. "Success changes how people see you," he said quietly, "but it doesn't necessarily change who you are." As they talked, Jamie continued working, her hands moving with practiced precision. Their conversation flowed surprisingly easily, about growing up without advantages, about dreams deferred, about parenting — he had a son from a brief marriage years ago — and about the simple joy of fixing something broken. By midnight, Jamie had completed a repair that should have taken a specialized team with custom parts. She closed the engine cowling with a satisfying thud. "It's fixed," she announced, wiping her hands on a rag. "I'd still recommend having your regular maintenance team give it a thorough check when you reach San Francisco, but it'll get you there, safely." Ethan made a call, and his team emerged from the terminal, relief evident on their faces. As his CFO arranged for immediate takeoff clearance, Ethan pulled Jamie aside. "What you did tonight was extraordinary," he said. "Not just the repair, but the ingenuity behind it. My company needs people who can think like that, who see solutions where others see only problems." Jamie laughed tiredly. "Are you offering me a job, Mr. Blackwood?" "Actually," he said, his expression surprisingly nervous, "I'm offering you a partnership." Confusion crossed her face as he continued. "Future Tech is launching a new division focused on innovating aircraft efficiency solutions. We need someone who understands both the mechanical realities and the creative possibilities." He took a deep breath. "I want you to marry this project, to become its heart and soul." Jamie's eyes widened. "You're asking me to... what?" "Poor choice of words," Ethan admitted with a self-deprecating smile. "I'm asking you to become our Chief Innovation Officer for Aviation Technologies. Full relocation package to California for you and your daughter, competitive salary and equity in the division." Jamie stood frozen, her mind racing. Just hours ago, she had been worrying about making rent. Now, a billionaire was offering her a life-changing opportunity based on watching her work for one night. "Why me?" she finally asked. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," Ethan replied. "I've spent my career learning to recognize exceptional talent. What you did tonight would have taken my team days and hundreds of thousands in parts. You did it with spare components and sheer ingenuity." Jamie thought about Lily, about the opportunities this could create for her daughter, about finally using her mind and skills to their fullest potential. "I can't just uproot my daughter on a whim," she said cautiously. "Take time to think about it," Ethan replied, handing her his personal card. "Visit the facility first, meet the team, then decide." In this final part of the story, we see Jamie in her new professional environment. The opening paragraph establishes that she's now working in a prestigious office overlooking San Francisco Bay. This visual detail is significant because it represents her dramatic rise from working on a small regional airport tarmac to occupying a position of power within a major corporation. The wall of windows symbolizes transparency and new perspective, while the view of the Future Tech aviation hangar shows she maintains a connection to the hands-on work she loves. The mention of prototypes being developed, many based on her initial designs, confirms that Jamie hasn't just been given a ceremonial position. Her expertise and innovation are actively valued and implemented by the company. This validates Ethan's initial recognition of her talent and shows that his offer wasn't just impulsive, but based on genuine appreciation of her abilities. The paragraph about Lily settling into her new school addresses the personal side of Jamie's decision. The mention that her daughter is thriving with the additional resources shows that Jamie's professional advancement has positively impacted her family life, resolving one of her initial concerns. This detail creates closure for the character's personal arc that began with her struggling to make ends meet. The line about Jamie finding not just a job but a purpose elevates the story beyond a simple rags-to-riches tale. It suggests that material improvement, while welcome, is secondary to finding meaningful work. The detail about leading a team of engineers who respected her practical experience alongside their theoretical knowledge highlights the unique value she brings to the company while also showing her growth into a leadership role. Ethan's appearance with coffee cups represents the evolution of their relationship from the formal billionaire-mechanic dynamic to something more collegial and equal. The casual gesture of bringing coffee suggests regular interaction and comfort with each other. His announcement about the board approving her proposal confirms that she has gained institutional power and respect within the company structure. Jamie's reply about necessity being the mother of invention calls back to their conversation on the tarmac, creating narrative continuity while showing she has maintained her core values and perspective despite her change in circumstances. The scene of them looking out at planes taking off is symbolically rich, representing progress, journeys, and the future they're building together. Jamie's reflection about how one emergency landing had changed everything provides the reader with a moment to appreciate the story's full arc. The metaphor about not just fixing an engine, but opening a door to a future she never imagined possible, connects the literal mechanical work that brought them together with the larger themes of opportunity and potential. Jamie's response that "that's not exactly how I remember it" affirms her authenticity and refusal to romanticize their meeting, while Ethan's agreement shows mutual understanding and shared perspective. Its owner asked to marry him on spot, by clarifying that while there was no literal marriage proposal, they formed something equally meaningful: respect, opportunity, and the chance to build something extraordinary together. This ending suggests that professional partnership and mutual respect can be as fulfilling and transformative as romantic relationships, offering a more nuanced conclusion than the clickbait-style title initially suggested.